In today's video, I wanted to go over Transcendence and its many meanings in Bleach. Oftentimes, many people can take things out of context and won't actually understand what the word Transcendence means in certain instances within Bleach itself. One of the panels that I wanted to go over here is where it shows both Ukitake and Shansui, and it says that they're transcendent. However, if you look closely, it says that, and when it came to battle, you were both transcendent. No one could match either of you. So what this is referring to is their battle skills. So, how good they are in battle itself. This doesn't necessarily mean their Ryatsu or spiritual power altogether. Now, we have another panel here, which this one's pretty straightforward. It's regarding Yorichi, and it's basically saying that her skill in hand-to-hand combat was transcendent, which basically means that her hand-to-hand combat is just above everybody else's, but it does not mean that her Ryatsu itself is transcendent. Now, we also have this panel here with Ukitake stating that Yama has transcendent Ryatsu, and what this basically means here is that he's above everybody else. So let's think about it here. He is the head captain after all, and naturally he is above everybody else, and nobody else matches him. This is also why Soul Reaper Aizen had to prep just to fight Yama, because without that prep, it would have been pretty one-sided, and he would have won that battle. Now, of course, if he had the Hogyoku during that time, then yeah, he's probably going to evolve. Now, here's where Transcendence really comes into play, and a lot of people would usually say this is hyperbole or it's just an analogy, but we have to understand what this really means here, because we're not talking about their physical dimensionality via Transcendence. If you want to argue that, a soul from a higher plane is 4D, that's fine, but what I really want to emphasize here is every time that they evolve, they're not dimensionally going up with their physical existence. What's going above into another plane is their spiritual power altogether. So let's just say that, Aizen was referring to the dimension that they're within. So if we read this panel here, it says, "But I was able to figure out from that clash of swords that our evolutions are not in these same dimensions." Now, this is basically what I'm talking about. It's not their physical existence that's going into another dimension, it's their power altogether. But let me also add on that Transcendence in this form here also means to transcend both Hollow and Soul Reaper. So in this instance, it has two meanings. You're transcending both Hollow and Soul Reaper, but at the same time, your power is also transcending into another higher plane. Now, we have this final panel here regarding a novel in which it's talking about Rio, or you can call him the Soul King, whichever you prefer. But basically what it's saying is that in order to make the separations of the realms a reality, it required the power of a man who transcended everything. So the Soul King, in essence, transcends everything in existence, including his cosmology, because again, this was the criteria that needed to be met in order to split the realms. A lot of people can take things out of context, so it's important to understand what you're reading and the actual context behind it. I will say that there's going to be more videos coming, and I'll also break down the context behind other panels, but if you have questions on other panels that you may not understand, you can always send those to me, and I will reach back whenever I can to help you further understand it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be coming out with more. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to hit the subscribe button. If you're watching it on a different social media, make sure to hit the follow button. Also keep those notifications on and be on the lookout for the next video. Until then, I will see you guys later.